Welcome back to another episode of the Phoenix Truth Rising Show. This is the Spaceman 2.0 here to help you grow in the knowledge and wisdom of truth, and the truth shall set you free. So with that being said, we're back on the part 29 of From Here to Armageddon. These are the words of Sananda, Izu, Emmanuel, Jesus. By any other name, a rose is still a rose. Let's see what will continue on. So continuing on, take ultimate care in discerning these preternatural evil energies that come to plead entry unto thee. Take not of their enticements and of their threats. They cannot create. They can only utilize what is rightfully thy strengths. The threats are the evidence of their limitations, for they cannot attack and seize control of the will in a direct manner. They can only work through the senses in order to assure the continuance of that most basic element of all human possessions, the consent of the victim by his own will. All ones are touched by this element. Look closely at self and honestly take note of any addictions which hold you hostage. This being a good example, look carefully at thy desires and why you might hold of them. Check to see how far along in earthly fleshly possession they actually have traveled. For all blandishments of success and happiness, for all the visions of special freedoms that may have led to this point, once control is yielded, virtually all personal freedom ceases from that point on. This is the most profound personal choice that can be made. Significantly, the option to relinquish all freedom of choice rests upon the very freedom guaranteed by God as long as the person chooses to be free. The choice can only be made by the person. It can never be made for him. If the fundamental option is made to relinquish that freedom of will, then possession has been accomplished in its most essential and conclusive step. The simultaneous decision is to reject God and Jesus, and the humanness, Jesus, me, made possible. Divine light is no longer theirs. There is a vacuum of any such deep knowledge as contributes to that humanness. All luminosity for the soul is progressively snuffed out. Into the vacuum, evil spirits pours its own light and knowledge. He will even call the kingdom his and call himself the Prince of Light. He is false and places you into the role of a person of the lie. Satan rarely delivers. At first, you can play his game and expect all sorts of wondrous things to happen, for his promises are great. Remember, he can only utilize you, however, thine own abilities which you have long denied use by thy own grand self. Watch what you are doing and look for the effects of this special diabolic light and how much help you seem to be receiving. He will cause you to feel surges of self-confidence beyond that which you believed you held. He will help you in thy work if it means growth and comfort for him. He will often give you forewarnings, fortune-telling at its best or worst. You will be given sneaky little inputs and enlightenment about the earthly opportunities to pursue individual satisfaction or prosperity, and also given additional fresh informations, mental energy, and always the promise of and temporary power over people. Everything the ego wishes and longs for, but never gives the ultimate fulfillment of peace and happiness. He always keeps thee searching for love, balance, harmony, and peace, for those things are the things of God being. But look most carefully for the most striking effect of the light and knowledge of evil spirit, the most extraordinary and dramatic change it effects in the judgments, principles, and outlook of the host personality, together with an ever-growing sense of loss of self-control, even to the point of a loss of awareness of one's actions. Look for the performance of actions for which you have no answer of why you did a thing, nor recognition of motivation. Oh, my beloved ones, you must take care. I beg on bended knee. At thy feet, take care. You will be sorely tempted in the most subtle of ways. If you stumble, I can pick thee up, if you but ask. It is thy free will I honor. Do you see? Satan has no free will. He has no validity unless you give it unto him. None. Take caution, for just to bring the subject on into thy presence pulls in the energy. Dharma is ice cold and repelled by the hatred being thrust at her very being during the writing of this lesson. Further, I must allow her to experience of it, for she also clings unto me for her protection and knows it will endure. You have strength in the knowing. The evil ones has no strength, other than that which you ones give unto them. Except through thee, he can do naught. That is why you ones must be wary of thy fellow man, for it is through the human the evil brother works his evil, most often completely hidden from view in the guise of goodness. Beware. No dead martyrs. Yes, precious scribe, the fat is in the fire, as you would say. You will not turn back, even be it that you could retract of these words. Thy mission is bringing forth truth at this time of mass confusion and reign of lies. If thee steps forth on the foundation of truth, thy brother can have strength to step forth, while thee and we will make great and rapid strides in our purpose. Blessings be unto ye who dare. However, just to stand and dare is of no avail. I need living hands, not dead martyrs. So be it, and attend it well. I am the way, I am the light, and except through me, of the infinite Christus truth, shall man pass. I come to show the way. I am the way shower. I am thy teacher. Lord, come to the cellas, mine students. I come with the host of angelic truth to light of thy path, that you stumble not. So be it, I am. Solon, Solon, and I am making my call unto thee. I am Izu, Jesus Sananda, of God of Light, the infinite circle of infinity. I offer my hand unto thee, for I come to reclaim my Father's kingdom upon this wondrous creation. I place mine seal upon these words, that they not be changed. No more, no less. So, Appendix 5 is over, and we're going to move on to Izus Jesus Sananda, the words of Jesus Christ, Appendix 6. And this is a wonderful information that you'll all be amazed to understand. The words of Jesus Christ. I come that you might have understanding. The Father's promised that man shall be given the truth and the word before the ending of the cycle. He promised it would go forth unto every corner of the planet, and so it shall. Man will then be given the opportunity to choose in knowledge that which he wills to choose. At the time of the ending, he will then have made his choice of placement in the universal kingdom, for each will have a level of understanding and soul growth which will place him at his station of proper dimensional achievement. It is a level of soul proficiency, not placement of one higher or above another. We of the higher planes do not have the problems facing man of the human ego. Bringing under control the human ego is the challenge of the human experience and density of dimensional vibrational known as earth level. This is why we were given a free will choice, that you could grow and learn correct choices which would bring you back into the purity of Christ's spirit, that would in turn allow a return unto Father's source and perfection. It is quite sad at some times, quite hard on the memory of Paul, that much of my teachings was left to be utilized in Paul's format. There was much that Paul wrote and was preserved and presented as the truth in all instants. Nay, Paul took many liberties with truth and did his teachings in confusion. Then man took the least offensive teachings and has utilized them for further control of mankind. In instances he imparted great wisdom, but I never gave other than the commandments and laws of universal truth, which has not gender nor enforcement regulations. Paul has and will, until perfected, grown that he might come into unconfused thought patterns, and his soul might have total freedom. He is still binded by adversity and indecision and a great desire for self-security. He still has his choices to clarify and rectification to accomplish, but Father always gives the opportunity for experience to balance and justify. So be it, and blessings upon these words. I will now tell you that which I said unto mine brothers at my last meeting prior to taking leave of the group with whom I had spent my days. I wish that we could sit, as we did that day, upon the mountain, in wondrous communication. Soon, dear ones, very soon now. My path would lead me to India, for many of the ones in India had gone there to move away from the persecution of what you ones refer to as the Holy Lands. I use this term only for definition of your vision of geography. There was also a race of human man birthed there. My mission was to lead me there to the places of India, and I knew my path there would be long and tedious. For I was sent to bring the new teachings still to many countries, likewise to the shores of the great black waters in the north of the Holy Lands. But before I would go, I would give a last lesson, and it was most carefully noted and inscribed by my beloved friend, Judas of Iscariot, who would go with me for most of my earth journeys in that segment of my experience as outlined by Father unto me. If man lives according to the laws of the creation, he lives rightly in truth, and this is the final goal. Everything human has to die in man, but everything creative has to rise and embrace the creation. Consider the universe as the place where the creation lives in the infinite, Everything that man owns has its origin in the creation, and therefore it belongs to the creation. Man shall change his entire spiritual life and perfect it so that it may become one with the creation. If man does a thing, he shall do it with the awareness of the presence of the creation. But man shall never try to force truth onto another, for it would only be half its worth. First, man shall watch his own progress in spirit, so that he creates in himself creative harmony. No greater darkness rules in man than ignorance and lack of wisdom. No greater folly can fall upon a man than that he thinks himself in wisdom, and be it not so. That one is surely a fool. The victory of man consists at its height in destroying and removing each power opposing the creative, in order that the creative might prevail. Man must develop in himself the power to discern over good and evil, and correct perception of all things, so that he might be wise and fair and follow the laws of the creation. Perception is necessary as to what is real and what is unreal, what is valuable and what is not of value, what is of the creation and what is not of the creation. Man must become a universal oneness, so that he becomes one with the creation, for he is of God and creation. He shall never reach total truth until he becomes one with God and creation. And deviation from that intent is error, for man's ultimate destiny is to again become one with God and creation, having split away to experience and grow in stature and wisdom to be perfection, that he might be all within the one. You must make your lives equal to the laws of the creation, the laws of nature. So live according to the laws of the creation. They are most simple to understand. In fact, man continuously destroys himself and that good which resides within, in attempting to hide from the very truth of the laws of the creation. It is called on thy place conscience and knowledge of good and evil. Man has tried, but he will never actually succeed at hiding from that very truth. However great might be perceived the suffering of man, the power of the creation in man is immeasurably greater to conquer all that is evil and put it away from him. If man lives only in his consciousness as man, he is inaccessibly far from his spirit and from creation, and also from the laws thereof. The greater man's dedication to the laws of the creation, the deeper shall be the peace he harbors within himself. Man's happiness consists in that he seek and find truth, so that he may gather thereof knowledge in the truth and wisdom, and think and act in accord with that of creation, in balance and harmony, one with the other. So with that being said, this is Spaceman 2.0, part 29 of the Phoenix Truth Rising show, and